Okay, here's a compound inequality, one of those sandwich inequalities as I like to call them. 7 is less than 2x minus 3, which is less than 13. All right, so where would you begin? Well, I'm happy to say that the intuitive thing to try works very well here. I want to isolate x, which means I want to get rid of negative 3 inside here. So I'm going to add 3 to all parts of this. So I put plus 3 under each part of the inequality, and we get 10 is less than 2x is less than 16. And then our next step is also intuitively clear. I need x, so I need to divide by 2. Divide each of the 3 parts by 2, and we get 5 is less than x is less than 8. So we have solved for x. By isolating x, we're done with the solving part. Now, I'm always going to ask you to write these on a number line, because I want to see if you can interpret what you got. If you can't interpret properly what you have, then what's the use? Okay, so 5 and 8, 5 goes to the left of 8, and x is between 5 and 8. So I shade in between. This is an open interval. And interval notation, x belongs to, parentheses, 5, comma, 8, close parentheses. So there we go. There's a solution to that problem. All right, let me try one that's just a little bit trickier. And okay, here we go. Let's solve. Negative 9 is, and I'm going to change this to less than or equal to's, just for something different. All right, so negative 9 is less than or equal to 4 minus 3x, and that's less than or equal to 13. All right, so our first step would probably be to subtract 4 from all parts. So I'll subtract 4, and this gives us negative 13 on the left is less than or equal to negative 3x. In turn, that's less than or equal to 9. Okay? Now our next step, careful, because to solve for x, I need to divide by negative 3. So dividing by a negative does what? That changes our inequality symbols. So I'm going to need to switch those around. And here, the two negatives cancel, so let's cancel them. That's just 13/3. Is greater than or equal to x, which is greater than or equal to negative 3. All right, now this is okay because this is a positive number. It's greater than x, and that's greater than a negative number. So in a sense, we have a string going from a positive number greater than a negative number. That's fine. I like to switch everything around. That's optional. If you're really careful and know what you're doing, you don't have to do what I'm doing. But gosh, you know, if you rewrite this, you might burn a whole calorie. Who knows? So, you know, think of this as aerobic mathematics. All right, so if I switch this around, I have negative 3 is less than or equal to x, and that's less than or equal to 13/3. And so, again, if you switch inequalities around, you've got to switch these symbols. So now it's in a form which I like, where I have a negative to the left of a positive. So it runs from negative 3 is less than up to less than negative positive 13/3. All right, so I'm going to graph using this. And let's see, I guess I can fit it in under here. So negative 3, 13/3, and x falls between, but it's also inclusive of the endpoint. So this is a closed interval that we're graphing. And so we shade in between these two numbers. And there we go. And with interval notation, x would belong to bracket negative 3, comma 13/3, close bracket. So there it is, the graph and interval notation. All right, now let's explore this for a moment. I'm done with the problem. It was worked correctly. Suppose that we forgot this step to switch these. All right, what would you get? So I'll write the bad parts in red here. And so instead, if we had forgotten to switch the inequality symbols, then these would remain less than or equal to's. And now we got a real problem, because this says that x is greater than this positive number, and also that x is less than the negative number. Now remember, this represents an AND conjunction. And so how in the world can x be greater than a positive number, but also less than a negative number at the same time? No such thing. And furthermore, when you read this, it says that negative 13 is less than negative 3. It says this positive number is less than the negative number. So that would be an obvious mistake if you pay attention to it. And so the alert student will catch those kinds of mistakes. But try to graph this and you're really bound to screw that up. So something to be quite worried about.